Hello, and welcome to IB Tutor Vids. I'm Jordan Dermas, and this is a video about Puerto Rico and Guam. Now, Puerto Rico and Guam were more like accessories in the Spanish-American, Cuban, and Philippine War. They weren't meant to be conquered, but they became important later on. Now, first we're going to talk about Puerto Rico. Now, there are 5 things that are quite important about Puerto Rico. I made an acronym SPEND, and in a way, there are a few reasons why we should conquer it and reasons why we shouldn't. Now, Puerto Rico is still a territory today. Some people don't know that the United States owns Puerto Rico. Now, first of all, sugar. And now, that's not a good reason to conquer Puerto Rico. The lands in Puerto Rico were spread out and not as fertile as Cuba. And so the sugar produced there is a little bit more coarse than what you would find in Cuba. It's also farther from mainland United States than Cuba was. Cuba had more equipment, was larger, had more sugar plantations already established. And so sugar isn't a good excuse for Puerto Rico, but it's really the only thing they had. Now, primitive is the next one, and that means they have primitive equipment, not like stone tools and that kind of thing. But they don't have the industrialization that Cuba had with farming and whatnot. Also, they weren't modernized. Modern for the late 19th century, but they weren't paved streets. It was very foresty and that kind of thing. Now, a reason why they did conquer it was easy. The commander that conquered Puerto Rico said it was a picnic. And just 3,000 troops landed on it. Land was given up. It became the United States. The next is naval. Now, this is just an important fact to remember that they weren't supposed to conquer Puerto Rico. If you remember, one of the most famous things that you hear about Teddy Roosevelt, our president, our former president, was that he participated with the Rough Riders in the Battle of San Juan Hill. And the Rough Riders were was a militia of volunteers, which in any war they're volunteers, who won the fight in the Spanish-American War. Now, he fought in Puerto Rico to take it over. He wasn't president at this time, obviously, because he was fighting in the war. McKinley was president at the time. But this is one of the important points that they fought against the Spanish and took it over. Now, it was meant to be, they didn't mean to conquer Puerto Rico. It was more like they were in the naval waters, and it kind of just happened. They were fighting the battle, and, oh, there goes Puerto Rico, we have it. So the last reason is a deal to Spain. And now this reason doesn't really mean that they had a deal to Spain, but it means that they have now another card in their hand in this war that they took from the Spanish. That, hey, we have your Puerto Rico. Now you also see that in the same way with Guam. Now, moving on to Guam, my acronym isn't as polished. It's My Great Iguana. But MGI is really what you have to remember. Really the reasons why and why we do have Guam as a territory today still. Number one, it's a midpoint between Hawaii and the Philippines. So it creates a nice base where the United States can go from Hawaii to Guam, refill, and then attack the Philippines. Otherwise, it's a long travel to the Philippines. So this will save a lot of money for the United States having a midpoint. Another thing, the garrison gave up. And now this is one of the funniest things in history you'll find. The garrison thought that the United States were celebrating. He had no clue that there was a war. There was a boat from the Spanish going down to Guam to tell them there was a war going on. But he had no clue, because there weren't radios, there weren't that type of thing on the island. He had no clue there was a war going on with the United States. So the garrison, which is kind of like the governor of the island, welcomed the United States, shook their hands like, oh my god, hey! And the United States conquered them. So it's kind of funny, but Guam had no clue what was going on. Now, this was also done in spite of Spain, and that's what I stands for. Is really, besides it being a midpoint, this was another playing card, as Puerto Rico was, to take it away from Spain. Like, this is ours now. Next in this video series, we're going to talk about the difference between the Platt and Teller Amendments and how this affected our annexation of Cuba. For more information and for this acronym or description part, document, please check my website at tudovids.weebly.com. For any questions, email me at ibtudovids@gmail.com or comment below. And in the description is my website. Thank you and have a great day.